So changing the valve on your dishwasher is actually pretty easy. It only requires a few basic hand tools, and you will have to remove the dishwasher from the opening in order to do that. Keep in mind, if your machine needs to be repaired, it's usually simple enough to do it yourself. Visit PartSelect.com, enter your model number, and quickly find and order the part you need. Some of the reasons you may be looking to change an inlet valve on your dishwasher is related to water. Either the water is not entering the machine, not enough water is entering the machine, no water is going into the machine at all, or perhaps you actually have a leak that's on the floor. So we've already disconnected our dishwasher. It's ready to be pulled out. If you're looking to find out what's the best way for you to disconnect your dishwasher, you can just check out some of our other videos. So to remove or install our inlet valve, we need to lay the dishwasher on its back. But in Samsung, they mount their valve to the back of the dishwasher instead of the front like most. So before we lay it on its back, I'm just going to turn it around and remove the 2 screws that hold the valve in place. So now that we have the screws removed, the valve is now disconnected from the dishwasher physically. So now we're just going to lay the dishwasher on its back, remove the access panel, and change that valve. So now that we have the dishwasher laying on its back, we have a screw here that we're going to need to remove to allow us to take this whole bottom panel off. So now that we've removed that screw, so the only thing left holding this bottom panel on is plastic tabs that you just need to take your finger and just push the tab in towards the center of the dishwasher, and that'll release it. And the last one down here. Now you can see all the components that's underneath the dishwasher. Here's our inlet valve that we need to change. I like to, when I'm working under here, have this panel out of my way. So the only thing I need to do now is disconnect my leak sensor. And then I can move this right out of the way. So we've already removed the screws that hold the valve, so it'll lift up out of place. So now we're just going to pull these off. So the only thing that's left holding this valve in place is this hose, and you'll see that this clamp is a little bit unusual looking clamp. This is something you see some of the manufacturers using more and more. It's a locking clamp that requires a special tool. The downside of these is why they're great for manufacturing. Once you remove this clamp, it's now useless and to be thrown away, and you'll have to replace it. And the average homeowner won't have this style of tool or clamp, so we'll replace it with a gear style clamp. To do that, I'm just going to take a screwdriver, slip it in underneath, and give it a little bit of a twist. And that unhinged the clamp itself. And I can pull that away, and that's, again, you just discard that. And then we're just going to take and apply a little bit of pressure and wiggle that hose right off the inlet valve. And that's how easy it is to remove the inlet valve on your Samsung dishwasher. So to install our inlet valve, the first thing we're going to want to do is put the water line onto the valve. Now remember, we had to remove the one-use only clamp, and we're going to replace that with a standard gear clamp that you can pick up at your local hardware store. So we're just going to push that rubber hose onto the end of the valve, push it on all the way until it comes up nice and tight to the housing. So with our gear clamp in place and our hose installed on the valve, we're just going to tighten this clamp up. Now that that's secured, just go to slip the valve in underneath that drain hose, hook up our electrical wires, and it doesn't matter which wire goes on which terminal, so you don't have to worry about reversing them. And now we'll just set the valve into place, and we'll just get our bottom panel and hook up our leak sensor and put the panel back on. Insert the tabs into the slots. Move the panel up into place. Get those tabs to lock in. Put our one screw back in that holds the cover in place. So now all we need to do is put our screws back in that holds the valve. So now that we have the part installed, it's just a matter of reinstalling the dishwasher back into the cabinet. And if you're not familiar with that, we do have a great video that'll show you how step by step. But it's just that easy to install an inlet valve on your Samsung dishwasher.